Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm going to take a quick look here at Gala, and just before we do, we look at Bitcoin too. I think it's really important to understand what Bitcoin is doing right now based on everything being fairly reliant on it. Okay, so just a quick heads up here. I drew this out from before, and it's not 100% certainty, but back when El Salvador sold off on the 7th of September, we saw this little rise up here considered a dead cat bounce, and it came back down. So I kind of feel, based on that sentiment, that we might see a dead cat bounce. I hope I'm wrong, but that could possibly be the case. Now, keep in mind, I also feel this way because look at this recently. This downward trend. We got 2 days of bullish momentum, 2 red days, 3 green days, 1 strong red day, 3 green days, and a dead cat bounce to get down all the way as low as 42 and to recover at 47.48. Okay, so what's to stop Bitcoin from selling off again? What it could do, though, and keep this in mind, this is dire straits, right? Heaven forbid it sells down to 42,000. It should bounce back again. But just say it were to, it could do one of two things. It'll consolidate at 48 again, or we could essentially lose that support, come down to 42 and etc. So I would just maybe recommend considering adding some limit orders for Bitcoin, Ethereum, closer to 48 for Bitcoin and maybe 4,000 for Ethereum. I don't think that's going to happen. It's not a strong likelihood, but I think it's just something we can't rule out yet, right? So don't get too excited here. This happens very frequent to get people to buy in, and then of course the prices sell off immediately after. Also note too, one last little caveat there. Bitcoin, just for example, on Sunday sold 3%, right? It did a little sell off at 3%. It took like an hour to do that. In that time frame, major altcoins were selling off from 10 to 15% on average. So we're talking literally 3 to 4x for altcoins selling off based on what Bitcoin's doing. So if Bitcoin sells off from 51 to 48, that's a 5% reaction, right? That means we're going to at least see 10 to 20% retracement from altcoins. So just don't rule that out, right? That could very well happen. But it is nice to see Bitcoin on the rise and kind of recovering a little bit. I just feel like it's a little premature to celebrate, okay? Because we got a major resistance level here at 52,300. That has to break on the one-day candlestick, close above before we have any type of celebration, okay? All right, so that's just something I wanted to make sure to note. Also note too, I'm not a financial advisor. I just love teaching people how to trade. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much. And I can assure you, you stick around and watch the whole video, you're going to be able to learn a thing or two here today. And it's always a learning environment, always collaborative, and I love it. This is what I do every day for work. I've been trading for over 15 years, and I'm here to hopefully make sure that you become a better, more self-sufficient trader. I do have a trading community. Link in the description below for that in case you're interested in becoming, obviously, a better trader and joining the group of aspiring traders. It's a really awesome collaborative environment. I'm super proud of my members too. Recently, when we had that sell-off on Friday, everyone came together and we united and we made the best of it. So awesome stuff. Check that out. And we'll actually be transitioning to a website soon. Actually, it's going to be a lot better than Patreon just because it'll be more user-friendly and everyone will be able to have a much better learning environment. Okay, so check that out again in your own time. Now looking at the one-day chart here, RSI up over 50. All well and good there. Awesome stuff. We got the support level here at about 47 cents holding. Technically, it's about 48 cents where you can see the line here kind of being drawn in the sand where the price will not go below that. Just bear in mind with this kind of being a descending pattern here, there's potential for the price to break to the downside based on Bitcoin kind of controlling the shots right now. Bitcoin's calling the shots. Gala's kind of at this point where it could dump. And the only reason why I say that is because it's overextended still. Okay. Now, most of the time, you'll see a pattern like this form, and it'll break to the upside because it came from the bottom, and it eventually breaks up, right? That's a usual pattern. That's pretty standard. But what I'm seeing a lot with coins like this right now that are overextended, keep in mind, look at this. In 7 trading days, Gala increased 643%. You could take that kind of growth in a traditional stock market, and it is just it is insane, right? We're just kind of happy, normal. This is like normal stuff, right? We're used to this in Bitcoin or sorry, crypto, but in traditional trading, it's phenomenal. You never see more than 5 to 10% gain in a day, and we're just kind of used to that. We're desensitized. So I want you to understand that that was significant growth, whereas 48 cents is still on the high side if you compare to where it was at 2 weeks ago. Okay, so that being said, the bottom could likely drop out of Gala. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but just note that if Bitcoin sells off, that support here for Gala is gone, okay? And it could very well perform similar to other coins that did the same thing. So, by all means, I'm still bullish on Gala big picture. I think it's still likely to hit its all-time high of 84 cents and then some, but I'm still very, I would say, bearish on the short term here for Gala. It doesn't look great. And let's go ahead and see if there's anything else we can find as mitigating factors or possibly contributing factors. And we can look at RSI. We're stuck under 50 on the RSI. It basically tells us that there's a strong resistance channel right around 54, 55 cents that the price cannot break above. It's probably more so right here at about 51, but it's working itself into this little descending wedge pattern, right? Again, not terrible, but not great. The 200 is working up to potentially work as a support. So if we do lose a support here at 47, I would say the next likely candidate would be 37 cents as a strong hold if the price comes down. Okay, because the 200 is intersecting with that. That was proven to be a very strong support level recently. The price didn't go below when we had a Bitcoin sell-off. Okay, so not terrible, just not great. I would say there's more adverse factors here than positive contributing factors, but let's see if there's anything else we can identify. Looking at the Ichimoku cloud, we can see that the lagging span is within the price action, so no buy zone. We're basically in a state of consolidation. There's no reason to take entry right now based on this metric alone. TD sequential is also giving us just consolidation patterns here. So I would venture to guess that the price movement we're seeing right now is pretty much just people trying to average their positions out, but also considering the fact that Gala is still a profitable coin for most whales. Can you guess what coins are going to sell first when Bitcoin sells off? Coins like these. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just the way it works. That's why a lot of gaming coins right now got hit hard, because of the simple fact that Bitcoin was on the decrease, and why not sell something that is extremely profitable before it dumps in the bottom, right? Before the bottom drops out. So the whales are getting ahead of the curve. They're selling coins like this, and a lot of them are just slowly bleeding to death. This one isn't necessarily bleeding to death, but it's almost there. It's almost to the point where it's going to drop, and we should see, I would say, 37 cents as a likelihood in the near future. So if Gala is your coin and you want to invest in it, by all means, dollar cost average, add to your position every time it comes down. Nothing wrong with that. But do not by any means take a long position right now to the upside or any leverage of any sort, because it's a terrible call, terrible decision, because there's nothing here really telling us it's going to increase, right? Again, technical indications are here for a reason. They're here to help us identify what happened in the past, what's going to happen in the future. And I can tell you right now that there's not a lot of bullish indications here for Gala. So dollar cost average and or consider trimming your position before the price comes lower. Again, I don't think it's going to drop terribly, right? We should not see 15, 20 cents in the near future, but I would say 37 is a pretty strong likelihood in the near future, and that's about 25% loss. So if you want to take a 25% loss, go ahead. If not, that's cool too. Just add to your position as it comes down lower, right? You don't have to sell right now. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to be aware of what's going on. And if you're in a swing trade, then just dollar cost average. That's fine. But if you're considering opening a position right now, I would recommend not. It doesn't seem ideal at this point. There's no indications here. So I hope you found benefit, of course. I'm so sorry it's not the greatest news, but it is what it is. I'm always going to shoot you straight and let you know what's going on. Feel free to join my Patreon community if you haven't already. Link in the description below, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.